Now I would like to invite Mr. Rimsky YUEN, GBM, SCJP, co-chair of the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center, member of the expert committee of the China International Commercial Court, to deliver the keynote address. Mr. YUEN.
Permanent Secretary for Development Works, Mr. Ricky Lau, Mr. President, Mr. Sidney Tong, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, may I express my utmost gratitude to the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers for inviting me to this conference and for giving me this golden opportunity to share with you some of my personal thoughts on dispute resolutions. It is often said that the rule of law is a cornerstone of Hong Kong's success as an international financial center, as well as one of our fundamental values shared generally by Hong Kong people. Today, of course, is not the occasion to discuss the philosophical meaning of the rule of law. However, as pointed out by Lord Bingham, a very distinguished judge of the UK, and as is generally accepted in most common law jurisdictions, one of the key elements of the rule of law is a fair and cost-effective dispute resolution regime which can effectively and justly resolve people's disputes when they themselves cannot do so. Besides, an effective dispute resolution regime is the key to enforce one's contractual rights and to maintain the holy spirit of a binding bargain. The judicial system, comprising courts of different levels, is of course the backbone of our dispute resolution regime. However, court litigation is not the only way to resolve disputes, and very often not the best way to resolve disputes if one takes into account the time and cost involved. This is why other means of dispute resolution have emerged and have since become popular in Hong Kong as well as other jurisdictions. Over the years, the dispute resolution regime in Hong Kong, like the regimes in other jurisdictions, have undergone fundamental changes. Take arbitration as an example. Arbitration has a long history in Hong Kong. The modern chapter of arbitration history in Hong Kong probably started in the 1980s when the modern arbitration ordinance adopting the UNCITRAL model law was enacted and the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center established. One of the various sectors which hugely contribute to the successful and sustainable development of arbitration in Hong Kong is undoubtedly the engineering community. Ever since the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center was established, countless engineering disputes have been resolved through arbitrations. Besides, a significant number of arbitrators are either engineers or professionals with an engineering background who have contributed significantly to the internationally recognized status of Hong Kong as an international arbitration center. But arbitration is not the only form of ADR which has been effective in resolving construction or engineering disputes, nor has the dispute resolution landscape in Hong Kong remained static in developing different means to cater for the needs of end users who need different tools to resolve disputes. As pointed out by the President just now, the latest development in the construction industry includes the introduction of the security of payment provisions into the public works contracts in Hong Kong with effect from 31st of December last year. I note that Dr. Christopher To will be speaking on this topic right after the tea break, and I'm sure his insights will be thought-provoking. Wearing my hat as a co-chair of the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center, allow me to draw your attention to the introduction of the security of payment adjudication rules, which came into effect on 23rd of February this year, and also the establishment of the panel of adjudicators for the security of payment scheme, which comprises experienced adjudicators from different backgrounds with different expertise. Needless to say, our Secretariat would, as usual, provide the requisite support throughout the adjudication process. With his experience in administering arbitration cases, I will urge you to consider using the service of the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center in the event you need to resort to adjudication to resolve your disputes. Another trend that I would like to mention for the purpose of discussions is the growing popularity of including multi-tier or multi-stage dispute resolution mechanisms in both standard form and non-standard form contracts, and in particular, the latter case. A recent international survey shows that in-house counsel are very much in favor of this development, especially the hybrid mode of met-up or up-met, which of course is allowed in our arbitration ordinance. Besides, the Hong Kong courts have in recent decisions, such as the case of HKIE Capital International versus China Vocational Education Limited, which is decided in 2019, as well as the very recent Court of Appeal decision in the case of C&D, clarified the law to a very large extent in respect of multi-tier or multi-stage dispute resolution clauses. This aspect of development is not without significance to the theme of today's conference, especially in the context of the Greater Bay Area. As we all know, mediation enjoys great popularity in the mainland, and so is the hybrid mode of met-up or up-met, albeit conducted in a way not exactly as the same in Hong Kong. How this preference would shape the future development of dispute resolution involving cases in the Greater Bay Area deserves serious consideration and studies. In particular, given the differences in legal system and legal culture, questions such as what form of dispute resolution clauses would best fit the need for dispute involving the Greater Bay Area are questions that perhaps deserve close examination. At the end of the day, dispute resolution mechanisms are there to serve the end users. There is no one-size-fits-all solution to all forms of dispute. Different means of dispute resolution have different strengths, and the end users, with proper professional advice, are in the best position to decide which means of dispute resolution best serves their needs in any particular case. As one of the key dispute resolution institutions in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center would continue to engage in close communication and cooperation with all stakeholders, including the engineering community, so as to see what we can do to serve your needs and to consolidate Hong Kong's status as a leading dispute resolution center in the region. Wills from the engineering community, whether on arbitration, adjudication, or mediation, would be most welcome and treasured. On this note, it remains for me to thank the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers again and to wish this conference every success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yuen.